In this presentation, we are going to discuss about economics idea of Hebrews. The Hebrews were a nation of ancient civilization whose history dates back to 2500 BC. The main source of their history and ideas is the writing of the Hebrews prophet. Their ideas are contained in the rules of conduct and laws enunciated and formulated by the sacerdotal class. These injunctions were the standard of all thought and action, the main theme of Hebrew education, and the chief concern of the Hebrew government was the observance of the law and commands. In fact, all their activities, including economic relationships, were strictly regulated by these rules of conduct. The code covered important economic problems like agriculture, industry, usury, monopoly, adulteration, weights, measures, inheritance, property rights, taxation, poverty, labor, and wages, etc. The Old Testament is the most important and original source of information regarding the economic thought of the Hebrews. From a description of this contemporary society in the Old Testament, it appears that it had some of the characteristic features of the capitalistic society. The economic thought of Hebrews. First one, usury or interest. Although the prophets did not use the term interest, they prohibited the usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. This rule was applicable only in the case of fellow Hebrews and the poor. If the thing accepted in return was more in value than what was given to the borrower, it was considered to be an act of usury. This rule was modified in times of Solomon when charging of interest at a low rate was justified. Next one, just price. Both the Hebrews and the Hindus exercised great care in formulating the laws against the false weight and measures and adulterations of articles of consumption. The rules for curbing monopoly and speculation were even more strict. There was hardly any place for middlemen. The export of food was prohibited, and in times of scarcity and famine, hoarding of the food grains was not permitted. The next one, labor and wages. The Hebrews regarded all kinds of labor as dignified, but the pride of place was given to the agricultural labor. As the trade grew in the volume, the problems of artisans' wage earner also engaged their attention. Unlike the ancient Hindu philosophers, the Hebrews did not lay down rules for regulating the relations between the employer and the employee. Agriculture. Agriculture and industry, both the Hebrews and the Hindus held agricultural tilling of land in high esteem while they looked down upon a trade. The saying goes that he that tills the soil shall have plenty of bread. In the Jews' encyclopedia, agriculture was the basis of the national life of the Israelites, state and church both being founded upon it. The next one, seventh and Jubilee year. The Hebrew prophets evolved a peculiar method of regulating and restricting the alienation of land by instituting the seventh and Jubilee years. The seventh year was one in which the land lay fallow. That is, after tilling it for 6 continuous years, the land was not to be cultivated for 1 year. The Hebrews even attached some religious sanctity to this measure, but in main it was designed to conserve the fertility of the soil. Later, this provision was extended so as to include the debtors and wages, loans on pledges, notes guaranteed by the mortgage, and notes waiving the right for the one particular case. Came to return through 1 or more 7 years.